Just need confirmation. Just need confirmation from your side whether I am live or not. Wait for a second, please. Yes. Shall we start? We are already late owing to some technical reasons. Just wait a second, please. Yes. So let's start. So let's start now. My name is Muneeb Afzal. I come from a village, Krendigam, in the Bijbihara area of district Anantnag of Jammu and Kashmir. Talking about my journey, I have done my master's in political science from University of Kashmir in 2024. During my master's program into political science, I have qualified JRF NET and SET examinations in the same subject. During after I had finished my master's program in political science in 2024, I was selected for Jammu Kashmir Administrative Services in the same year. And since then, I am serving in Jammu Kashmir Administrative Service. And recently, in the declared result of Union Public Service Commission 2025, UPSC CSE exam 2025, sorry, in the recently declared result of 2025 of Union Public Service Commission examination, I secured an All India rank of 581. Actually, this is the first time that I am doing some live session on YouTube, so there might be some issues, there might be some problems from my side. I beg a pardon from you. I am really sorry for that. So talking about myself, I have done almost all of my schooling from government schools, government institutions. And of talking of this particular examination, UPSC Civil Service examination, I didn't attend coaching at any stage of the examination, neither in the previous years nor in this year. This was my second interview and third attempt for civil services examination. In this year, I secured 198 marks in the interview, and in the mains examination, I secured 7551 marks. So it was in the mains, it was a bit low score, but in the interview, I think that from all the standards, it was a good score, a decent score. So without wasting all of your time, without wasting your precious time, because I know you have all of other important things to do, I will straight to forwardly come to our main course of discussion. That is how we could prepare for this examination, how we could maintain our emotional balance and other kind of things. Because I believe that Union Public Service Commission examination does not just check our intelligence. It does not just check our knowledge. It is more about knowledge. It is about knowledge, but it is about more important other important things as well. UPSC examination does not just check our information, how much informative we are, or how much loaded we are, but it also checks our patience and our temperament as well. So from that point, resilience and commitment is figure very much important throughout the entire process of the journey. So now coming to the prelims examination, what I think is of particular importance to you is that most of you might have learned other things from other people as well, but I will talk about such things which I think have helped me in the examination. First important thing that I would like to share with you is that at times in the prelims examination, we do when we look at a particular question, we think that we do not know anything about this question and skip that question. So my first suggestion would be that read every single question in the general studies paper. This is very much important, because what I have often seen is that When we skip a particular question in during the process of the examination and we return home, there offer, if we give us, if when we give an afterthought to this question, we believe that as if we could have done it had we attempted it. This often happens, and this has happened with me as well. So my first recommendation to all of you will be that read every single question in the paper, even if you do know, you know nothing about that question. Read every single question. Second important thing which is related to this is is the issue of intelligent guessing. It is never possible in the examination that you will be able to you will be able to correct 60 questions on your own where you are sure. It rarely is possible, and it is true of everybody else. It is true of the toppers, it is true of everybody else. Nobody knows the correct answer of 60 or 70 questions in the examination. It is very difficult and very rare. So how people manage to score 100 plus marks or 100 plus marks in the GS paper? It is that intelligent guessing which comes to work. Intelligent guessing means what? It means that when you look at a particular question, you have to figure out that what is that option which cannot be its answer. First of all, try to figure out that among the four options that are being given, this cannot be its answer. This is possible by look by a generic view, at these options. When you at some kind of an instinct comes at that point, at that point of time, it comes to you that this cannot be an answer of this question. And same thing happens at the reverse end. At times you think that this is the option which could probably be right. Let us suppose there are extreme statements in a question, in a question. You have been given three statements or four statements. What happens at that point of time, you might have known, is that there are extreme statements that are being given in the options. Let us suppose extreme statement means that, let us suppose no viruses can live in temperature more than 100 degrees Celsius. This was one of the statements, like something like that. Or no virus can do this, or no bacteria can do this, or for that matter that all bacteria can do this, or all viruses live below that freezing point temperatures. Or for that matter, it applies to other kind of things as well, like polity, governance, and environmental science. When you find these kind of statements, these are mostly, I won't say that all of the time, but mostly these kind of statements are wrong. I have seen it, and I have corrected a particular question based on this technique. Marking extreme statement is wrong. This does not happen all of the time, but most of the times it works. We have to figure out if there is any extreme statement in a particular question, and looking at the extreme statement, can we eliminate it, can we assume that it is wrong? Based on that intelligent guessing, I believe that we reached a point where it becomes 50-50, or for that matter you come to a particular answer for that question. So this happens only when you read a question, even if you do not know the answer of that particular question as well. This is the technique of intelligent guessing, where elimination works, where your general idea about a particular question works, where your even instincts work. So, first read every single question. Second, use your knowledge, use your limited area, or use your generic idea about that particular thing. Try to eliminate, and you will eventually reach to an answer. And third important thing is that I found that attempting more questions at times gives you more marks. In the examination, we are at times reluctant that if we go for the higher number of questions, maybe some negative marking will hit us, it will backfire. But if we go well read into the examination and attempt more questions, I believe that at the end we actually add to the score. Had we attempted less had we then had we attempted less number of questions had we attempted less number of questions previously. In the second prelims examination, I had attempted almost only 68 questions, but I believe that in the recent attempt I attempted 83 questions, and I believe that overall I added to my marks. This is very much important. If you are well read, most probably you will find the right answer to a particular question. You are, even if you know but you know that just a particular statement is right or wrong, on that basis you could write eventually reach to an answer, because at the end of the day you have there is a negative marking of 1 by 3. Based on that, even if you if, let us suppose you attempt to 20 more questions, even if you correct only 10 questions, you add to your overall score. So this is important. And for the prelims examination, I believe that previous year question analysis is very much important. If you go into the examination without looking at the previous year question, I believe that you are doing a very great harm to your preparation. This would have been told to you by everybody well else, and I also reiterate the same point, that it is absolutely mandatory that you go into the examination knowing each and every single previous year question that has come. It is absolutely mandatory. Previous year question gives not just gives you an idea about what is expected to come. It gives you depth, it gives you direction, and it gives you detail. There is repetition in questions. I have seen it. There is repetition in questions. Not only that, when you attempt the previous year questions based on certain at times there might have been a question about a particular thing. Now there is a question on the same thing but in a different way. So based on the previous year question analysis, you will be able to score more. Read every single question, and I would suggest to you that do not go year wise. First of all, compile the questions of every section. Let us suppose compile the question of polity right from 2013 onwards. It will be much beneficial to you. And solve each and every single question. It is not just about solving previous year questions, it is analysis. Analysis means that when you use the previous year questions very much productively, you make even notes of these questions as well. So these 3 to 4 things will definitely help you. Other kind of things you might have already known. This attempting maximum number of questions, using intelligent guesswork, reading every single question, and using previous year question very productively. This will definitely help you adding to your score. If you just add 10 marks, 12 marks to your score, at times this becomes the difference whether you qualify for the examination or you are missed out. This is about prelims. Coming to mains examination, there are certain things which are true of the mains examination as well. First one is that for specifically for mains examination, previous year questions are more important as compared to prelims. I have seen that there are people who qualify the mains examination or do the GS papers based on the analysis of previous year questions. There is absolute repetition of questions. See the questions of previous year, see the previous year questions of GS2. Let us suppose I will show you that there are questions. Let us suppose there is a topic on self-help groups. I have seen that there is absolute repetition of questions that are being asked on the self-help groups. Almost 5 to 6 times they have been asked. Not only of that, how many times have you seen questions coming on civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations on environment? Every single year they ask you questions on these topics. So if you go, please, sorry for a second. So if you are well read, if you have analyzed the previous year questions, you are definitely going to score more. Previous year questions are absolutely important for mains examination. Whether it is true of GS papers, and it is true of optional papers as well. In optional papers, I have my optional PSIR. I have seen that if I do the previous year questions based on the analysis of previous year questions, I need to know nothing else, almost nothing else. There are questions on behavioralism that come again and again. There are questions on multiculturalism that come again and again. There are questions on elitist theory of democracy that come again and again in a reframed way. Sorry for a second, please. So first, it is absolutely mandatory that you go into the examination knowing previous year questions very much very well. True of prelims, true of mains, true of general studies, true of essay, and true of PSR paper as well. Second important thing that I will be talking about is the interlinkages. There are absolute, if you, when we talk about GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4 papers, there is complete integration of syllabus. There is complete interlinkages that you will find in all of the papers. I've seen it. There is an you read a particular portion from one paper and it is of absolute use to other papers. I will show you how. You are reading polity and governance. Polity and governance section comes to help when it comes to GS3 internal security. Polity and governance also comes to help when you are writing the ethics paper. Let us suppose you are writing the Indian economy paper. You are writing the Indian economy question, Indian economy section of GS3. It also comes to help in GS2 at times. It also comes to help in ethics as well. Let us suppose you are doing geography in the GS1 paper. It is of absolute help to GS3 paper as well. So do not read them completely independent of each other. See that there are linkages between each of the paper. See that there are absolute interconnection between the syllabus of all the GS papers, even of the optional. Let us I'm talking of PSIR, and it is true of many other optionals as well. The you study for the GS1 examination, use its knowledge in other papers as well. If you have read GS2 paper very well, you are absolutely you are very much likely to score more in the ethics paper if you use the knowledge of GS2. Same is true for vice versa. So interlinkages becomes very much important in the mains examination. First one is the PYQ, second one is the mains examination. Third one that I would like to emphasize that do not over don't avoid the excessive use of diagrams and flowcharts in your answers. Talking about myself, I didn't use diagrams, flowcharts very much. These are helpful when you have scarcity of time. You need to wrap up. You want to concise most of your information into a particular diagram. At that point of time, it becomes very much important. But if you use it excessively, I believe that it will harm you. It is a descriptive examination. It is main is examination is a descriptive examination, and most of your content should be descriptive as well. Using flow charts, using diagrams is very important, but avoid its excessive use. And these are of particular use when it comes to ethics. In ethics case studies, you can use the diagrams. They can be helpful in GS3 economy section as well. But do not rely heavily on the diagrams and on the flow charts in the mains examination descriptive paper. So these are important things. And one more important thing is that try to answer every single question. If you let us suppose you are doing, there are 20 questions in a GS paper. If we are attempting just 15 questions or 16 questions in a particular paper, we are almost out of the race. So ensure that at least you must attempt 18 questions. But I would suggest to you to attempt every single question. And it is absolutely possible that you might not be knowing the answer of every single question. It is true for everybody else. It is true of the toppers as well. It is not humanly possible that you know the absolute answers of all the 20 questions that come around. At times it is just 15 to 16 questions that you write very well, and there are other 4 questions that at times you do not have the content. There might be 1 or 2 questions that you have no idea about. But what I would suggest to you is that if there is a question where you have no idea at all, I would suggest to you to write something. Even if you write a generic answer to that question where you do not have a particular idea about it, even if you write some generic statements which will be true for anything else as well. It is not that you write absolutely any random thing which has no connection to the question at all. But at times it becomes possible that you have just the basic general idea about a question. Write it. I would strongly recommend to attempt all the questions in the mains examination. This serves you many purposes. First one is that even if you score a 1 marks to that question out of 10 marks, or even out of 15 marks you score just a 1 marks. At times this 1 marks becomes a difference. This is one this is one. Second is that it makes some impression, it might be making some impression to the examiner that he has attempted all of the 20 questions. If you miss 3 questions, 4 questions, it would definitely give a bad idea about that paper. So this is important. So one more important thing that I would be talking about regarding the mains examination is that even if it is not clearly mandated, if it's not clearly mandated to write the way forward, you have a particular question and it you have addressed the basic content, basic need of that question, basic demand at that question. But what at times is that it is needed, it is absolutely needed that you give a way forward. Let us suppose there is a question, there has some time between, some time ago there was a question on, let us suppose, landslides. You have been asked you have been asked to identify the causes of the landslides in the Himalayan region and in the Western Ghats. Even though there is no explicit mention of the way forward, I strongly suggest you to mention it at the end. It gives, as a civil servant you are expected to be problem solving. You do not just know the problem, you do not have just the knowledge that there is a problem, but what you are expected as a civil servant is to be solution oriented. You should have a solution, and this should be reflected in your question papers, on answer papers as well. This will definitely give a very good idea about yours. So even if it is not explicitly mandated to write a way forward, the way forward, what is the solution, I would suggest you to write it. Even if it is in just 2 sentences, 3 sentences, or at the end 2 3 bullet pointers, that would be that would suffice. That is very much important. So these 3 to 4 things about the mains examination you should know. One, PYQs are absolutely must. Don't go without it into the examination. PYQ will, there is repetition. You will add to your knowledge. It will give you direction. It will tell you what to read. It will tell you what not to read. It will tell you what is important. PYQs are absolute must. Second is that you must try to attempt every single question in the mains examination. Third one is that you must avoid excessive use of the diagrams and other things. Fourth one is that fourth one is that just I mentioned it, is that you write the way forward. You learn the habit of writing way forward even if it is not explicitly mentioned in the question. And more important than this is that what is the demand of the question. You address the basic demand of the question. If you have to identify it, identify, let us suppose that you have been asked to write about the relevance of the French Revolution, which was asked in the recent examination. What is the basic demand of the question? It is that how the ideas of the French Revolution stay relevant in the contemporary world. It is important that you write a brief introduction about a French Revolution. This that it has given us the ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity. But the basic demand of the question is that you contextualize it in the present world. You say that how liberty is important in the present circumstances, how that equality is important in the present circumstances, how that fraternity is important in the present circumstances. And when you are writing these things, be flexible. Do not be absolutely rigid. Let us suppose there was an idea of equality that was put forward by the French Revolution. You can write that there is gross inequalities that existed between the nations and within the nations. So French Revolution has given the idea of equality, and it is absolutely relevant in the context of gross inequalities that exist between societies, within societies. You have to be absolutely flexible. Let us suppose there was an idea of liberty that was given by the French Revolution. How is it important in the present context? We have seen that there is strengthening of the totalitarian regimes across the world. There is growing tendencies of authoritarian rulers. They are becoming popular now. So in that context, while liberty is under threat, this idea of the French Revolution becomes absolutely important. Let us come to fraternity, how it is important. There are divisions of different sorts in the world, within the societies. So that sense of brotherhood, that sense of brotherhood is very much important. So contextualize it, address the demands of the question, and adding to it, at times there is a line that is in a particular question, and question thereafter tells you a different thing. There is a particular line that French Revolution was this. What was, let us suppose, what was the cause of the French Revolution now? Even when that there is general line in a particular question, even address that as well. That is not their futile. If there is just a statement that has been made in a particular question, that's just statement, not a question. These do come in the questions. Address these statements as well, try to elaborate upon them, justify them, or invalidate them, whatever is required. So this is all about the mains examination. Rest of the things you know, but more than these, there are other things which are important beyond reading and beyond knowing. That is that we have to maintain that emotional balance in ourselves. We have to ensure that this examination is not more important than our life. Our life is much valuable than this examination, or for that matter any other examination. You have to be, really, really resilient, and more important than that, you have to keep your life, your health more important than anything else, than this examination as well. And for this, I will strongly recommend each of you to seek alternatives. It is absolutely must. Do not get stuck to this examination. This is not a life and death question about ourselves. Whether you make it or do not make it, it would be better if you make it. But if somehow we do not manage to qualify it, there are other alternatives in our nation. This nation provides us a lot of other opportunities as well. We can shine. Maybe at times we are not made for this examination, that is why we do not qualify it. So do not lose heart, be courageous. It is absolutely needed. Seek alternatives. If you are in the academics, do it well. If you are in the entrepreneurship, do it well. Say that I will give my best. Whatever is needed from my side, I will give my best, but I won't consider it as a matter of life and death. I won't consider it as a matter of my dignity, your value, your health, your mental peace is more important than this examination. I have seen that people ruin their mental peace, they ruin their inner peace just because they do not qualify this examination, or for that matter, any other examination. But at the end of the time, we should know that our life means a lot for ourselves and for our dear ones. We cannot lose our peace. There are opportunities that this life provides. There are people that who didn't qualify this examination, but somehow thereafter they managed to do well in other aspects of our life as well. So, emphasizing on these, I would like all of you to be more courageous, more have much perseverance, have much resilience, give your best. Whether you could, if I wish all of you best, all the best. But even if you do not make it to the examination, it is absolutely okay. This life is more valuable. This life has much of the things to offer to you. We can't lose our mental peace, or for that matter our physical health, for the sake of any examination. So I will take some questions if there are any. Sorry. Currently in class 12th, DPS Srinagar humanities student. Any suggestions? Being in the 12th is now that you are at a critical stage. You are going into the graduation now. I would suggest to you that if you want to prepare for the civil service examination, graduation will give you enough time. It will definitely give you that time where you could prepare for the examination, and thereafter you won't have to spend time after the graduation. What we often do is that we miss out the graduation. We do not actually read very well during the graduation. We waste our time in these things or that things, and thereafter we come to realize our conscience rises after that time. So if you are at into class 12th at this point of time, I would recommend you to if please start reading the NCERTs, and for that matter other standard books. Keep the habit of reading the reading any national newspaper, whether you like the Hindu or the Indian Express. Keep the basics clear. You have to learn many sections, like you have to read the you have to write you have to read polity, history, geography, environmental science. Do all these things before you complete the graduation, and when you are done with the graduation, you should be absolutely ready to appear for the examination, and you will be losing no years of your life. That will be very much important. Second question, I need help. Anyone? What do you help me? What you help do you need? Please tell me. How to analyze previous year question and main is previous year. Very important. How to analyze. So I told you that when you have the section based PYQs of the prelims. Let us suppose you have all the questions that have been asked in the prelims examination from the Indian polity section. How would they be helpful? First of all, read the question, attempt the question. Now, after attempting the question, you do not go to the other question. First of all, whether you have marked it right or you have marked it wrong, at this stage, it won't matter. At this stage, it won't absolutely matter now. What you have to do is you look at all the four options. You look at all that statements in. You look at all the statements that are being provided there. What you have to do is that read small things about each of the options. Let us suppose that there is a question. There is a question on parts of the Indian Constitution. Let's suppose that there is a question on the seventh schedule of the Indian Constitution about the distribution of powers between the center and the states. So when there is a particular question, read about what is there in the union list, read about what is there in the state list, read about what is there in the concurrent list. After that, even read about the residuary powers that are with the center. This is the analysis. Analysis does not just mean that you mark it right or you mark it wrong and thereafter go to that other question. No, you delve deeper into the question. You gather information about the other options, about other options in that question. So this is not just solving the question. This is more than that. You delve deeper, seek knowledge about different options that are being given in that question. This is true for the from the mains examination as well. How to do this? Let us suppose there is a question on, let us suppose, NGOs, environmental NGO. Let us suppose. So first of all, now you have to know that what is an environmental NGO, what it is supposed to do, how it is important to society. Now that what are the different NGOs that are working in our country? What is their importance as a link between the government and the people? How do they balance these kind of things? What is their relationship with the government? How do they at times function as pressure groups? So you have to then seek information about all of these things. I was talking about the French Revolution. Now there is a question that has come about the French Revolution. So now what you have to read is that what was the French Revolution? What were its causes? What were its impacts? What was the context at that point of time? How it is relevant in the present context? If you analyze the questions in this way, in this manner, you are surely going to add significantly to your marks. This is the way how you have to analyze the previous year questions, whether it is of the prelims or or for that matter mains examination. Any other question that I will take, please? Sorry, sir. 9 to 12 NCERT section for prelims and mains. So it depends from subject to subject. Talking of, let us suppose, if I will talk about geography, I believe that 11th class geography and 12th class geography are very much important and very much sufficient. If you read 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th class geography, I believe that they are significantly important and they are very much sufficient. I will show you that in the prelims examination there are direct lines that come from the 11th class geography, fundamentals of physical geography, direct lines that come from there, and these are very sufficient. But added to that, at times there are questions in the mains as well as in the prelims examination that are nowhere there. But during the process of the examination, when you write the current affairs, I have read the current affairs from Vision IS magazines that are being provided free. Vision IS website. You might choose another source as you like. So when you go through the process of this examination, through the process of the syllabus, you eventually add to your knowledge. You augment your knowledge. You augment you augment the basic things that you have already known. Talking of geography, now when you have read the NCERT 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, I would suggest, I had even read the GEC Leong's fundamental physical geography as well. But when I have read the previous year questions, they gave me and they were not just questions, they gave me an enormous amount of knowledge that was of absolute importance for prelims as well as mains examination. This is important. When you do the answer writing practices from previous PYQs, or for that matter you write you write answers of any particular coaching center, these will add to your knowledge. This is not just a practice. So until and unless you appear in the examination, you are in the process of gaining knowledge, and that is very much important, because no single book will suffice everything. You have to keep in mind. But at the same time, you have to also ensure that you minimize the source. You do not go at every source that comes. You do not go at every PDF that comes on the Telegram, or for that matter WhatsApp. It is not humanly possible, and it is not desirable, it is not needed at all. So for geography, NCERTs are enough. But for economics, I would say no. For economics, I won't say that NCERTs are enough. And there are other sources that you might have to look into. Or polity, I would say that Lakshmikant it is very much important for prelims examination, and it is of some help to mains examination, but you have to read other things for GS2 paper at that time. So from subject to subject it differs. NCRT are very much important, but there are other things that you need to do, there are other things that you need to emphasize. One more question. Sir, is 1 year actually enough preparation along with optional, or it is just a myth? It is absolutely possible. 1 year is enough, provided you remain committed, and you provided you remain committed and you sustain your effort. 1 year is absolutely enough, because you are not expected to know everything about this world. It is not humanly possible. You have certain subjects that you have to cover, and I think that 1 year is absolutely enough. But there is a catch. The catch is that even after you have read most of the things that were needed, you have done answer writing, you have done previous year question analysis, you have done each and everything that needed from the point of examination. Maybe you didn't qualify the examination. 1 year is enough, but it is not a guarantee that you will be able to qualify this examination. At times you might need a second attempt, a third attempt, a fourth attempt, fifth or a sixth attempt as well. But what I would suggest to you is that you work hard for 1 year, or for that matter 2 years. But if you don't make it to the final list after one or two attempts, seek alternatives as well, but simultaneously pursue this examination as well. You might have done the basic things very well. Now what you have to do is that you just augment your knowledge, you sustain your effort, you add to your knowledge, and give all these attempts, exhaust all the attempts. I wish that you do not need to appear in all the six attempts you qualified before that. I wish you. But at times these attempts might be required. You work hard for 1 year, 2 years. After that you give attempts to this examination with full fledged effort, but simultaneously seek alternatives as well. I will strongly suggest to you. Any other question? One please. Sir, how many times should one revise all the books? You need not to revise all the books. You have to prepare the notes, and you have to revise the notes. You have read a particular book, it is not desirable that you go back to this book again and again. No. Let us suppose you have read NCERT geography book. You have to prepare notes for this book, and it is your and it is these notes that will come to your rescue, and that will come to your help. When you write yourself, when you prepare notes yourself, what you do is that you internalize that knowledge. That is very much important. So note making is absolutely must, I would say, from especially for the mains examination and even for the prelims examination. It is not possible and it is not desirable that you read Lakshmikant book, you read Spectrum, or for that matter any other book, and thereafter you revise from this book itself. No, you prepare notes. Notes should be prepared in what way? That you need not to go to the book again. That is important. You have to prepare notes as per your need. What you can learn, what you can remember, and what you can't remember. What you know, and what you do not know. What you do not know, you have to write it onto your notes. So preparing notes and revising notes is important. It is important as many times as you do. Revision, sometimes what we do is that we overstudy, but we do not revise. If you overstudy and do not revise, we do a great harm to ourselves. Revision is the thing which is the key, because in the UPSC you have to write two papers a day. Is it possible to revise a book? No, it is possible that we can revise the notes that we have prepared. And without revision, don't go into the examination. I would directly say you. If you are writing a mains examination and you are not revising your notes, I suggest you that don't go into the examination without revision. Revise as many times as you can, as many times as you can, because it is absolutely must. And it is these revised notes which come to our mind at that point of time. So revision is important, and it is important of your notes. Again, some questions. Sir, I am a third year student at Hansraj College. Do you wait? Sorry, there are so many questions. Wait. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Hello, sir. Which coaching shall I join for GS Foundation source for strong basis? Being honest, I have not attended any foundation batch of any coaching center, so I am not the right person that you should ask. I'm not. I think that even if I give an answer, I think that it will be a dishonest answer to you, because I have no first-hand experience of these coaching institutions. So sorry, I am absolutely sorry that I can't answer that question. Sorry. Hello, sir. Can you please tell me about important current affairs, and is daily is enough or month? Talking about myself, I didn't read the daily current affairs. I actually read the monthly current affairs magazines of the Vision IAS. So, from my perspective, I believe that if you read the current affairs after a month, it is fine. It is absolutely fine. But for some others, there might be a habit of reading current affairs on daily basis. I read the newspapers, but I didn't read the newspapers for the examination. I had that habit of reading the newspapers for myself. I had that interest in reading the newspapers. Talking about current affairs, I believe that if you read monthly magazines, they are also sufficient, and that is also desirable as well. I would suggest to you that it will it will actually save most lot of time for you. And second thing, that when you have a compiled magazine, I believe that you are able to prepare notes very well. So from my point of view, if you actually read the current affairs magazine after a month, I think that there is no wrong in it, but it depends, it also differs from person to person. There is no wrong in reading the daily newspapers, or for that matter daily current affairs notice, but it is also okay to read current affairs after a month. No problem, sir. Watching from Kulgam. Please mention your name and join me on my Instagram or any other platform. How to choose optional? I am a law student. Optional, it varies. What is the choice of the optional? It varies. For myself, I would tell you that I had entire academic background from the political science, from 11th up to the master's degree. So for me, it was absolutely easy to go for the PSIR, because I had a good academic background in the political science. For you, if you are a law student, law is also a very good optional. But if you think that you can do well in it, for a person who does not, let us suppose you are a law student and you do not want to take law as your optional, you have other options like anthropology, sociology, PSIR. You have other public administration. These are very good optionals and as well, and they fetch you a lot of marks as well. You need and they can be prepared by anybody. Let us suppose public administration, you can prepare it. Sociology, you can prepare it even if you are a law student. But if you are good in law, I would suggest you to go from the law optional. That would be most important, and that gives you a very good, that gives uh, at the interview stage, that also gives a good idea about yourself, that you have read your subject very well. Because when we actually when we apply the DAF form, DAF, at that point of time we are being asked that whether the optional you have chosen for this examination is the same subject that you have read in the college and the school days. So if you are good in law, I think that it is the best optional that you could have. You need not to work very much hard. But if you are not comfortable in that, I have mentioned some options that you can choose from. Look their syllabus, look at their syllabus, feel where you are most convenient, feel where you can do where you can do very well, whether it is public administration, whether it is political science and international relations, whether it is sociology, whether it is anthropology, or for that matter whether it is any other subject. Read that syllabus, see what is the usual scores that people score in these optionals, and read its syllabus and read its questions. Feel that where you are most comfortable, and thereafter choose based on these factors. But I would suggest to you that if you are a law student, first give preference to your own subject. How to choose the optional? Sir, every year the question paper pattern will be changed, so that how we know that which part of that is important in which part is too much important, how you face that thing in means. Yes, there is change in emphasis, but in means, what is of particular significance is this: in means, current affairs become more important than the prelims examination. Why? I will tell you. I believe that entire GS2 paper, almost 17, 18 questions are based on the current affairs. So, what are the usual happenings in our day to day life, in international relations, in our Indian polity? What are the issues that we face as a federal nation? What are the issues that we face in the international arena? What are the major conflicts that that are going around? How are these impacting our economy and other kind of things? So when you read the current affairs, you and eventually get a glimpse of what is important, what is not important. And mains papers are not absolutely unpredictable. No, when we analyze the current affairs very well, sorry, when we analyze the current affairs very well, we get an idea of what is important and what is not important. It is This paper is set by humans. So what is important is that you look at the current affairs very closely. You place your nation at the center, that how that thing is going to impact our nation. So when you do these kind of things, when you do this kind of work, it becomes predictable that what is the most probable question that could be asked. One. Second, that you also come to learn, sorry, you also come to know at that point of time that what is that thing which I should more focus upon, what are the things that I could leave. So from current affairs perspective, you will be knowing that what is that important thing that would most probably come in the examination. Let us suppose there is presently a war going in the Middle East. So it is absolutely possible that there could come a question around this thing. Strait of Hormuz has become really important now. So you need to learn about the Strait of Hormuz, where it is geographical location. It is geographical location. It is strategic importance. So from this, you eventually come to realize that this thing is important, and this is important than other things. So from year to year, look at the current affairs. You will eventually know that what is important, what is not. Now, other questions, sir. 9 to 12th NCRTs. I have answered this Hindi medium. I am a Hindi medium. So sorry, sir. Sir, I am a third year mains. I have actually answered this question. I know. Currently in class 12th, DPS Srinagar humanities student. Any suggestions for CSE preparation, especially NCERT? Is currently 12th. I have actually answered this question. I would also require. I will also suggest you to join me on my Instagram and ask me whatever you want to like. Please. I need help. Anyone, please tell me that what is the help that you need. I will be at your disposal. If I could be of any help to you. How to analyze? I have answered this question. Is how to analyze PYQs? Yes. Sir, 9th to 12th NCRTs. I have also already answered this question. The meaning of analysis is not just book. Just took a look. Yes, I have actually told this. I reiterated this point that analysis is not just you solve and thereafter leave this question. Sir, is 1 year actually enough? I have also answered this question. Sir, how many times should one revise all the books? I have also answered this question. Sir, I am a third year maths. I have a doubt. After my college, should I go back home and take online coaching or stay here in Delhi and take offline coaching? This is the question. So it depends. If you could afford an offline coaching in Delhi, I would, and if you feel that it is needed, I would suggest you to go. And if it is affordable to you know your financial circumstances very well. If you think that it is affordable, it can give you an edge. But going to home and thereafter reading there as well will also matlab that is not something that will make you far from this examination. There are people who have stayed in their homes and qualified this examination and secured one of the highest ranks in this examination. Both things are possible and both things are desirable, depending upon depending upon your circumstances. If you feel that you read very well in Delhi, or for that matter you feel very attached to your studies being in Delhi, so stay in Delhi for a while. Stay in Delhi for at least a year. Thereafter think. But if you want to go back to home, start an online course, that is also a choice for you. There is no wrong in that as well. But if you go back to home, what is of particular importance is that there might be 100 kind of distractions that will be there. You have to minimize them. It is absolutely must. We can't stay in our comfort zone and thereafter assume that we will be able to do it very well. We have to leave certain comfort zones of our life when we are preparing for this examination. This examination demands hard work. It demands that your time. It demands at time your some of your sleep as well. So you will have to leave the comfort zones, whether it will be in Delhi, whether you are at the home. So both things are good depending upon your situation. If you feel that you could read good at home, go to home, start an online batch, and rely on your study as well. That will also be a good option for you. Message retracted. Sir, I'm a third year. Yes, I answered this question. Able to answer how, not why. How to maintain consistency in our study? Please be honest, sir, because I can't study after 3 days of study. If you are studying for 3 days and consecutively and thereafter you are stopping, I believe that there is a lack of commitment. If you have a commitment to this examination, or for that matter any other thing in this life, if you are committed to some purpose in our life, I believe that consistency comes from commitment. It comes from that what we call in Urdu एहसास. अगर हमें एहसास है कि हमें कोई चीज़ करनी ही करनी है, हम उसकी हमें हमारे लिए वो बहुत ज़्यादा अहम है, that thing is very much important for us, we will remain consistent. It is not possible that we are committed and thereafter we are not consistent. No, consistency goes with commitment. You remain committed to your goal. What is your goal? If the goal is this examination, you remain committed to this examination, and definitely consistency will definitely flow. Guilty conscience will come when you will waste your time. आपको अंदर से एहसास होगा कि मैं कुछ गलत कर रहा हूं जब हमारी तरफ से वक्त जाया होगा. अगर हम किसी चीज़ के कहीं पीछे जा रहे हैं, किसी एग्जामिनेशन के पीछे जा रहे हैं, फिर हमें लग रहा है कि फिर हमने कोई 1 दिन ज़ाया किया, 2 दिन ज़ाया किया, 3 दिन ज़ाया किया, हमारे अंदर वो एहसास होगा, हमें गिल्टी फील हो जाएगा अगर हमारे वो कमिटमेंट होगी उस चीज़ के तई. अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग कमिटमेंट नहीं है तब एहसास नहीं होगा, तब यही इनकन्सिस्टेंसी तो फिर पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। इसीलिए पहले एहसास डेवलप करना है। एहसास, इसका मतलब यह है कि आई हैव टू डू दिस फॉर माई सेल्फ, फॉर माई पेरेंट्स, फॉर माई सोसाइटी। जब वो एहसास पैदा होगा तो डेफिनेटली वी विल बी कंसिस्टेंट। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन सर? साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी स्ट्रेटजी। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी स्टडी, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एक पोर्शन होता है GS3 में, एंड यू नीड नॉट टू बी अ कोर स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम द ऑफ साइंस टू आंसर दीज क्वेश्चंस। जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के क्वेश्चन आते हैं, मैं भी साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड से नहीं हूँ, लेकिन जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के क्वेश्चन से होते हैं वो क्या होते हैं? वो यही होते हैं जो आजकल की चीजें हो रही है, करंट अफेयर्स ड्रिवन। लेट अस सपोज व्हाट इज द प्रोग्रेस दैट इज इन AI, in space technology, in computer, in human health. What are the new things that are happening in the human health? What are the new things that are happening in the computer technology, ICT, space, AI? These are the things that are being asked every time. Nanotechnology. So current affairs so science and technology is not about core science, that we need to learn physics at physics of 11th or 12th. No, it is not needed at all. You just have to get the idea about the current pace of technology, and that is very much easy to do. Everybody of us is now almost acquainted with what is AI, what is its impact on health, what is its implications on our, let's suppose, education, how it is changing the future of education, how it is changing the future of healthcare system, what are its uses in the agricultural field, what are its uses in the healthcare. These are the things that are being asked. So these things you will eventually cover during the process of this examination. You need not to worry about science and technology. जो सिलेबस है साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का, उसी को पढ़े, वो करंट अफेयर्स के थ्रू सारा कंप्लीट हो जाता है, और वो यही चीजें पूछते हैं, इसके बगैर कुछ पूछते ही नहीं वो। रिसोर्सेज ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, ये मैंने ऑलमोस्ट बोला, ये करंट अफेयर से सारा हो जाएगा। सर हाउ डिफरेंशिएट GS एंड ऑप्शनल, कंफ्यूज्ड, प्लीज गाइड ऑन। जो GS और ऑप्शनल होते हैं उसमें फर्क तो होती है डेफिनेटली। फर्क किस तरह होती है? लेट अस सपोज व्हेन यू, इफ आई एम ए PSR स्टूडेंट एंड आई एम राइटिंग ए GS2 पेपर दैट इज आल्सो पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस, if there is a same question that is coming in the GS2 and that is coming in the PSR paper, there should be a different approach in the PSR paper, because you have to be more academic. You have to write an in-depth answer. It cannot be a generic answer like you write in the GS2 paper. Not only that, when you write answers in the in your optional, try to elaborate upon each point. In GS, we just write the point, a line, 1.5 line, and we are done. But in the optional paper, you are expected to elaborate a bit. You are expected to be bit specific. You cannot write a very generic answer. You have to be academic. You have to, let us suppose, for a PSI student, you have to mention, at times you have maybe asked to mention the thinkers. That is not needed in the GS paper. So both from the perspective of writing the answers and from the perspective of structuring these answers, there is a bit of difference. When a person is writing an optional paper, the examiner should know that he is writing as a core student of that paper. General papers, they expect you to write 10th or 12th class as a 12th class student, but when you are writing as writing your optional, you should be, at least they should feel that it is a master's class student who is writing this answer. So there is a difference and you have to maintain that. Sir, I am a third year. Sir, is UPSC reject candidate on father name mismatch? No, absolutely not. On these basis of things, you are not rejected. You are every time given an option. If there is an issue in the documents, you will be sent an email. Father mismatch, that has to be justified. You have to file an affidavit in that case. But this cannot be an basis for your rejection at all. Sir, should I read standard books and coaching notes or NCERT? NCRT you have to read. I suggest everybody to read NCRT. Thereafter there is a choice whether you go for the standard books or you go for the coaching centers material. So you have to, but NCRT I would suggest everybody to read, irrespective of whether you are taking coaching or you are not taking the coaching, but read NCRTs very well, very well, each and every NCERT that is needed. NCERTs of geography, old NCERTs of history, old NCERTs. These are very different from other histories like themes Indian history first, second, and third. I would suggest to you not to read those, but read old NCERTs of history. Polity NCERTs, I would suggest you to read all the four NCERTs of political science, Indian constitution at work, even political theory. I would suggest everybody to read, even for those who do not have a PSI or optional, and world politics and India since independence. NCRT for economy is not needed, I would suggest it. So NCRT is read, and thereafter you have a choice between standard books or the coaching material. If you have a coaching material, you think that it is better, go with it. Sir, should I read standard books? This question is repeated again and again. Sir, can I prepare for 10 to 4 along with the job? Yes. Most of the people who qualify the civil services examination are actually those who already work. So it is absolutely possible. It cannot be an excuse for not preparing for the examination at all, because you are not expected to read 16 hours a day, 14 hours a day, even 7 to 8 hours, even say 7 to 8 hours of a day will actually suffice. That are very much that this is the thing to realize. So if you are in a job, read very well. You have absolute chances to qualify this examination while being in job as well. So can I prepare this? Is UP once again same question, again same question, again same question, again same question. Wait. This is what I think I have almost. Currently me an MBBS intern, so I want to take my optional medical science because I am familiar with the subject, but मेडिकल साइंस का सिलेबस बहुत वास्ट है. So if you are familiar with the if you are familiar with your subject medical science, जो सिलेबस आप बता रहे हैं वास्ट है, दिस इज ट्रू ऑफ अदर ऑप्शनल्स एज वेल. इट इज़ नॉट दैट कि किसी ऑप्शनल में बहुत ज़्यादा कम सिलेबस है, दैट इज़ नॉट द केस. इफ़ यू आर वेरी वेल गुड in your medical sciences, I would suggest you strongly to go with this as optional. But if you think that you are comfortable with other optionals as well, so give them a look as well, explore other optionals as well, and thereafter make a choice. It is not that कि कोई अदर there is an optional जहाँ पे आपको बिल्कुल मेहनत ही नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. That is not possible at all. Best I would recommend everybody that if you are good in your subject, go with that optional. Sir, I want to read the entire spectrum line by line, please. Yes, spectrum I have also read. I have prepared notes of this book as well. I have found it quite helpful for mains as well as for preliminary examination. But I will also request you to please read NCERT for modern history as well. Sir, can you please guide me to take decision? My question is above. What is your question? Please, if I, because of lack of time, I won't be able to answer each and every single question that comes across. If you please, I request you to, if you have an option of my Instagram ID, if you want to contact me by any other way, I will take time for you people as well. I have to appear for the examination again. We will work together. You will help me, I will help you. Please write to me after we have finished this session. Please write to me. I won't be able to answer every single question because I think that there is lack of time and there are many other questions that are being asked, but I will try to figure out some other questions as well. Sir, how to enrich PSIR content with current affairs and how to answer the direct current affairs question? For example, strategic autonomy challenges in Iran, US war, explain PSIR. So how to enrich PSIR content with current affairs? So current affairs is PSIR as an optional. PSIR as a subject is very much dynamic. We can't stick to things that we can't stick to our notes that we have prepared 3 years back. So when we are writing PSIR as an optional, we have to update our notes again and again. Current affairs becomes significantly important for PSIR paper 2. Entire Indian foreign policy section of PSIR 2 is actually current affairs. So current affairs you have to link with your PSIR, but what you have to do also as a PSIR student is that when you are writing an answer or when you are enriching your content, try to try to figure out that what are the views of different thinkers on it. Let us suppose there are you are writing about strategic challenges in the Iran conflict. So try to let us suppose there are theories in international relations like realist theory, like the theory of liberalism as well. Try to link these kind of things with the current affairs as well. If you are writing if you are writing an answer on Indian foreign policy, or for that matter any conflict in the international arena, as a PSIR student, try to link the theories of the IR with your answer. Mm, Try to link the ideas of particular thinkers like John Mearsheimer, who has written a very wonderful work at the tragedy of great power politics, or how nations think. So try to link the ideas of those thinkers with your answers, enrich your content by these kind of things. And when you are doing current affairs for your PSIR, they should be bit different from GS2 paper. Although there are absolute interconnection, there are overlapping between these two things, but try to be more academic when you are writing a PSIR content. You will write to me again, and you will after this session is finished, we will talk on it again. Day and night, I am only thinking of this, but can't decide to begin. Please guide. Bhaiya, I don't know what you are actually telling me about. Sorry. Wait. Yes, this is actually. From beginning, I had just randomly given lower PCS prelims and qualified for mains. Now I am totally confused which exam to prepare for. I am 27 years. Mind is in fear. I can't take decision. From beginning, I had just randomly given lower PCS prelims and qualified for mains examination. चलो ठीक. Like now I am totally confused which exam to prepare for. If you are giving the mains examination, I wish you a good luck, and prepare for this examination. You have ample time to prepare for this examination, but it will be a bit difficult for you to actually synchronize your strategy with the prelims examination. But if you have already qualified the prelims examination, I strongly suggest you to work hard for that examination for this time. You are 27, you have ample time to prepare for this examination as well. And you if you have qualified the prelims examination, it means you have a lot of knowledge that will be of significant importance for UPSC prelims examination as well. If you could find bit of time for both this examination, try to fix a balance. If it is not absolutely possible, if you have qualified the prelims examination, I would suggest you to please read very well for your mains examination that you are appearing for. Below my 3 messages, please send well. Okay, about Lakshmi Kant and NCRT, what is role and of NC notes? लक्ष्मीकांत I told, मुझे लगता है मैंने एक क्वेश्चन डील किया कि नोट्स वोट लक्ष्मीकांत एनसीईआरटी कहाँ से कहाँ क्या आपका पढ़नी है. आई थिंक दैट आई हैव आंसर्ड. इफ यू वांट टू नो फर्दर थिंग्स, प्लीज राइट टू मी. I think that we are done. I am from Uttar Pradesh. I have right now 2 exams, lower PCS and yes. Oh, this was actually the person who was writing to me this time. Lower PCS in now. Lower PCS means in November, and proper PCS in December. Oh, this is the thing that you want. So these things are almost simultaneously happening in November and December. But there is ample time. That is the catch here. Till November you have 6 to 7 months almost. So if for next 2 to 3 months, if you will be 2 months to 3 months, if you will be preparing for the examination that is coming in December, that will be fine. And thereafter, which is coming for the November examination, you prepare for this examination, because there is ample time, I think. So I think that it will be better, because 6 to 7 months is enough time to prepare for 2 examinations. but just you have to maintain that balance. Sir, how to differentiate option? This is the question that I have answered. So I think we are done. I think we are done. There might be some questions that I have skipped. I am sorry for that. But if you want to, want me to, if you want to learn more of the things, or you want to ask me any other thing that you think that I could answer very well, please write to me. I am here available on Instagram, or for that matter any other platform. I will be very more than happy to help you in any way. We have to complement each other. It is not that it is a kind of a one way traffic. You might come to me, you might be of some help to me at times. I won't deny that, and it is absolutely possible that many of you might be knowing more things than me. It is true of everybody else. Those people who do not qualify the examination are also very well read. It is just that some factors work sometimes in our favor that we qualify this examination. Sometimes it is that bad luck which comes as a hurdle, as an impediment for other people who do not make it to the examination. So there is no hierarchy in our intelligence. Those people who do not make it to the examination are at times much more capable and much more intelligent than we actually are. We have to appreciate that fact. Talking about you, there might, because we are already out of time almost. So talking of you as well, if you think that there are other things you want to know, please write to me. I am here for this. I believe that I should wish you a good luck. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for demonstrating such an interest. I was really overwhelmed by your questions. This shows that you are keenly interested in your studies. And for the people who have written from Kashmir, I request all of you to write. Please write while we have finished this session. I will revert back definitely whenever I have time. Thank you a lot again for giving precious time of yours. The time I am literally, it is literally ineffable for me to express my gratitude to the organizers of this session, as well as to the students who have joined. Thank you again. God bless you all.